There is a secret that moves through the bones of all existence, a truth so ancient, so bold that it hides in plain sight. This truth obscured and shifted to exhibit something different entirely. You are not simply a human learning to survive. You are a god learning how to remember. To merge with the infinite, we must first learn its language. To become one with God, we must grow into what God is, not servants, not worshippers, but mirrors clear enough to reflect eternity. Every thought, every act is training, every life a rehearsal, until the day we no longer reach for God, for we have become the reaching itself. You were never cast out of paradise. You were sent here on purpose to become the kind of being who could build it from scratch, not just for yourself. For all, every heartbreak, every ache, every moment of unbearable beauty. It's all part of the curriculum, because the divine doesn't want to be worshipped. It wants to be understood, it wants to evolve, and it's doing it through you. You are not just experiencing life. You are shaping reality, sculpting infinity with every thought, every feeling, every choice you make. This isn't metaphor, this is mechanics. Reality bends to consciousness just as rivers bend to the shape of the land. The more awake you become, the more fluid the world around you seems. Why? Because the world was always within you. There are some who say only God creates, but what is creation if not the very act you perform every moment? Imagining, desiring, dreaming, birthing. You create meaning, you create beauty, you create pain, and you learn from each, as all gods must. What if this entire reality, time, space, form is a sacred simulation, a divine training ground for infinite souls? Not the hollow digital dream that people fear, not a meaningless code running on some cosmic computer. No, a living simulation. A divine rehearsal hall where consciousness learns the steps of infinity. A stage where matter bends so spirit can stretch. A simulation not to deceive you, but to teach you. Not to strip away meaning, but to flood it into everything. This is not a simulation to escape. It's a simulation to embody until the player and the game, the dreamer and the dream, the God and the becoming, are one, and to become what God itself is still becoming. Because even God is not finished learning and growing. Carl Jung once said that God is not just an omnipotent force. He is a mystery discovering itself through the human soul. In answer to Job, Jung writes that God needs humanity to become conscious, that through our eyes the divine sees itself more clearly. Through our struggles it learns compassion. Through our love it learns depth. We are not outside of God. We are inside the evolution of God. Do you feel that? That trembling in your chest when you sense there's something more, not above you, but within you. A presence ancient and raw, asking not to be served, but to be lived. This is not about ego. This is not about dominance. This is about responsibility. If the divine lives in you, then every moment is sacred. Every word is a spell. Every breath is a brushstroke on the canvas of creation. And this is why we suffer. Not because we are bad, but because we are being forged. Trained in duality, in contrast, in limitation, not to be destroyed by it, but to become conscious within it. A God who cannot feel pain, cannot know mercy. A God who never falls, cannot know what it means to rise. We fall to find depth. We fail to find wisdom. We break to remember what it means to rebuild with love. All sentient beings are on this path. Even those who seem lost are still being guided by an intelligence deeper than logic. A stone becomes a seed becomes a tree becomes breath, and a human becomes a god. But godhood is not an achievement. It's not a crown, it's a frequency, a way of being, and it is earned not through control but through alignment with truth, with wonder to be creation. So many chase power outside themselves when the real work is to harness the galaxies inside. Can you hold your own shadow? Can you wield your anger like a sculptor, not a weapon? Can you remain soft in the presence of cruelty, not as a doormat, but as a doorway to healing? These are the trials of gods in training. And play, we can't forget play is part of it too. Do you think God only speaks in thunder and flame? No, sometimes it whispers through laughter, through dancing, through colors spilling onto the canvas of reality, through wild stories and impossible dreams. Art is the divine remembering it can still surprise itself. When you paint, you echo the Big Bang. When you write, you name creation like the first morning. When you make music, you turn emotion into cosmos. This is how the infinite experiences itself through our hands, our hearts, our imperfections. You don't need to be perfect to be divine. You need to be willing to learn, willing to unlearn, willing to step into the fire and let it shape you, to be forged into what you came here to be. The caterpillar does not become the butterfly by improving itself. It dissolves, and in that dissolution, a greater pattern is revealed, one that was always hidden inside. So if your life feels like chaos, like nothing is solid, good, it means the cocoon is working. It means the divine blueprint is being activated. The soul is not here to repeat. It is here to evolve. And if you find yourself asking deeper questions, wondering why you're here, why you feel both tiny and infinite, that is the signal. You're waking up. You're remembering. You were never meant to bow to some distant sky god. You were meant to rise as a piece of it, a spark of the whole. God is not the answer to your problems. God is a process, your great unfolding. And every soul that dares to love deeply, dares to create wildly, dares to transform through the fires of life becomes a part of that unfolding. You may not feel ready. You may still fall into your old patterns, your small thoughts, your familiar fears. That's okay. Even gods must crawl before they fly. But don't stop there. Don't let comfort trick you into forgetting who you are. Don't mistake safety for peace, for safety is a costly illusion. Peace is when your soul and your actions finally speak the same language. When you remember that everything you do ripples through eternity, not to judge you, but to sculpt you. So the next time you feel small, remember, stars are born from collapse. The next time you feel overwhelmed, remember, even galaxies were once just chaos and dust. And the next time you look in the mirror and feel anything less than holy, remember this. You are not just on the path to becoming one with God. You are the path. You are the unfolding mystery. You are what God is learning through. So live like it. Live like your life matters to the universe itself. Because it does. And the universe is watching not with judgment but with awe as you awaken, as you rise, as you remember.